If I look tired, it's because my eyes feel tired. We got a place last night to stay. It was a bit of a mission, but we ended up spending most of the day in the car again. The last time, just a week ago, we didn't have a place in the morning, and we spent 10 hours in the car trying to find a suitable place to stay. It should not be so time consuming. I don't want to make excuses as to why that is, but suffice it to say, if it would have been less time, it would have been less time. But oh man, by the grace of God, or just because I'm pretty quick on my feet and I'm fairly well connected to the Most High, I hope. Yesterday what happened was we were stuck in traffic on the highway for nearly an hour, and it was rolling slowly, and they'd squeeze the 4 lanes into one, and eventually you get moving again, and so I'm moving for about 10 minutes after that, and as we were coming down this hill into Durban, and then there's a downhill, and then up onto this area called the Berea. And as I'm going down the hill, I'm like, whoa, steering's heavy. Whoa, the engine's cut. And then the radiator dial is like 120 plus, it's off the chart there. And oh man, the engine's cut out and I'm overheating. So within about, I think we had 10 seconds to kind of make a decision to get off the motorway. There was a fly-off coming, and I'm freewheeling. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to get it up here. Let me see if I can jump it. Jump started, and then the engine runs for 15-20 seconds. Enough to push the car through the lights and onto the top bridge, where it died finally. And I got some guys to help me push it to a auto electrician. Auto electricians can sometimes be a bit full of themselves for some reason. I don't know why. Something in their shorts. Anyway, this guy wasn't very friendly, and he wasn't happy. How long are you going to be here? I'm like, dude, my car's. He gives me some water, and I pour it into the radiator thing, and as I pour it in, the water just starts spewing out the radiator, boiling water, or instantly boiling water, and it starts boiling back into the container of water. So, doesn't look good. And after it cooled down, I couldn't get the engine, the starter motor, but not the engine to turn at all. So it may be that it all got seized up. So the guy's hassling me, you can't leave your car here on my forecourt. So I'm like, guys, hey, if I could leave it overnight. I don't have a place to stay. I don't have many contacts around here that could help me out right now. So it's like, no, my car lot is going to be full tonight. It'll be full of cars. So anyway, I noticed the building while I'm talking to Francois and Andre because this is obviously not my car. This is a borrowed car. I'm sorry, Andre. I had the water checked about a few hundred kilometers ago. Maybe the tank before that. I'm on half a tank of fuel, so 1 tank ago or so of fuel, I did have it checked, and it did seem to be running low. So perhaps a more diligent driver would have been checking it on a more regular basis. Anyway, so the guy's like, no. So I go next door to a building. Excuse me, I've just woken up. Go next door to a building and appeal to them. It's very studious looking type of affair. They're pathologists, and to go into this building, I promise you, I had to put on one of these Homer Simpson faces. They do look a bit, some of them, particularly those white ones, they make us look like we're fucking peaked. Mars is in play, excuse my language. So I had to go upstairs to the director and see him, this dude peering into like a microscopy thing, It's the same ones we had at school, but they're pathologists, and I guess they're super busy, and yeah, they're super whatever about whatever dust is in the air. So I go in there, there's people wearing the PPE, like white suits and whatnot, all taking life very, very seriously. Man, don't stress so much, you'll get flu. Anyway, so he agrees for me to have the vehicle stay there, and it's in a secure space with 24-hour parking. And given where we were, given the setup, that car could have busted anywhere in much worse situations. Oh my goodness, we ended up, as I said, spending most of the day there. The security guy, nice guy, lets us park right under a tree in the shade at the bottom of the car park, and there we spent most of the day. We did take a taxi down to the beach for an hour or two. Saw Rodney and Freddie, and sorted them out with an ice cream and some money for shelter. One or two other guys. So it wasn't a complete waste, but yesterday we were actually hoping to take our friend Patrick. Now you go, who's Patrick? Well, you remember one of the first videos I did in Durban was watching some guys, talking to some guys shooting up with the heroin, and he was one of them. In fact, I think I averted my camera from actually filming him sort of taking the needle, but he was in a bit of a bad way, was Patrick, and now he's wanting to take his mother's home back. She died a month ago. Well, it has to be a little bit more than a month ago, because it's when Francois was with us, and we took him to a shelter, gave him money and food and stuff the day his mother died, so he could get back home to her. So she dies, and the local community, or someone in the local, some guy wants to take his mother's house, so he needs to try and defend it, not in a physical way, but in a presentable way. That's not a word, but he wants to go and present himself to the land and to the thing, and he could do with someone's help. And a guy like me, who has language to use, can be of use to him. Anyway, I told him I'd be down on Wednesday, which was yesterday, to take him up to his mother's place. So that was where we packed up. We had all our stuff, our worldly possessions, in the car, because the place we were at before, well, that was the last morning, and we'd agreed to get out early. They'd given us the extra night, a little bit cheaper, but they'd given us the extra night, but we had to be turfed out by 8:30 a.m. So we had an early start, bags packed, and everything was in the car, which is actually an advantage or a bonus, because it meant we didn't need to I suppose if we'd had a place to stay last night, it would have just been like, okay, we can go back there, regroup without a car, find something else. Anyway, so we ended up here at this place, noisy as hell, because we're right near the highway. But it's pretty, as you can see behind me. There's a swimming pool and everything. I mean, we don't have, our quarters are here in this section here, so it's quite fancy, more than we should have preferred to spend, Anyway, yeah, the car, the situation with the car is an interesting turn up, right? Because I knew I had to return the car. It's a loaner. Very kindly, Andre has lent it to me, and he's got commitments coming up. I think his daughter's getting married in a month's time or something, and he really could do with having the wheels for that period of time. So we knew that we were on a restricted, finite thing. And in a way, sometimes that's a good thing, because it kind of encourages you to get on and do something with each day, really, doesn't it? It's the same with whatever's happening in the meta game. I feel grateful that I'm, at times I feel grateful that I don't have the I don't have the comfort of the sofa to go and sit back down on every night that I've been sitting on for the last 10 years. I don't have that certainty in my life. I don't have that comfort. I have to keep moving. I have to keep, rolling. So in a way, I'm being pushed to proceed. And the flyer that we've got coming, thanks to Greg over in Italy, it's awesome. I'm really excited to get that out, and hopefully, all being well, we can have something printed by the weekend. Because I'm seeing these African dudes. That's partly why I want to be in Durban for this weekend. Is I'm seeing these African dudes at their community meeting on Sunday, and I'm hoping that it opens doors to more such conversations and opportunities. That's what I'm hoping for. Sorry, I'm not looking straight at the camera, but you know how weird it feels for me to be looking at myself and talking. I don't even see the mirror, but this is the most mirror I see these days. Anyway, so I just wanted to say that the car thing. Oh no! In terms of the snowball rolling, we managed to in the time we came down from Dundee. I've lost count of the weeks. Maybe it's 6, maybe it's 4. I don't know. But in the time that we've come down from Dundee, slow start. I mean, from the cold, as it were, but really making great progress here. Really making great progress here, and I think it's a different kind of progress to the progress that might be happening in Europe. I don't want to be too biased in my perception of what's going on in Europe, but I do see the growing protests, and we've always said that they were an intended effect of what we were going through. But I see that obviously as fodder for the psychos in charge. So I'm not looking to foment that kind of action here, and we think that the riots that they pulled off a month or so ago in the Natal, this area, was part of a plan to frighten these people from protesting, to lay the ground to say, well, look, this is what happens when you guys protest, so we can't allow you to protest. We will be heavy-handed. Obviously not calling for protests and that sort. It's a much, you see, in a way, it's a much bigger call or a bigger action to actually have to change your life, your way of doing things. Let go of the teat and go out and make your own food. I think that's the thing that that's the thing that sits behind protesting. Oh, we want the same stuff back. We want all our freedoms back. I mean, it should be obviously no one should be able to take your breath or force needles into you, but there is a bigger thing going on, and that is that the system that we were suckling on is poison. It is based on the exploitation of the many, for the enjoyment of the few. It is based on, material manufacturing over natural production, and all of this based on GMO farming, GMO humans, GMO entertainment. So we are at a crossroads, humanity. We have to decide. You're really going and protesting and asking for something that's already broken, that has already hurt millions upon millions of human lives. It's just now we're coming to really feel it and pay attention to it. But there are people living in squalid conditions all over the world, and have done for quite some decades. So I think that it's not, the energy should perhaps not be into demanding that we get our cot and rattle back from the nanny, but that we go out and find ourselves a new way of living, conducting ourselves and our business. And that does unfortunately mean letting go of some of the things that we love, or we've got so used to, And I guess, to be fair, and I will watch without judgment of protests and so on. It's not about what are they doing, how dare they, and even the counter protest. Whoa, you take your vaccine, protect the rest of us. It is what it is, guys, and the more you're invested in it, which is part of the European problem, the more you're invested in it, the more you need for it to continue delivering your goods, your drugs. So maybe it's easier for me because I don't have I don't have a home or a house that is like tied to the system, I guess I have been for some years making that choice and letting that go so that I could be free to find my way into the field fairly. I went to a fire dance thing the other night. That was fun. Yeah. Zizi and I were doing a little bit of Glastonbury style. He does enjoy the dancing and the beat and the fire. So we had fun. A guy called Muhammad got stabbed and died on the beachfront a few weeks ago in a dispute over a dustbin, because guys were picking cans from dustbins, right? They do that obviously to make a few cents, and two guys squabble over the use this is my dustbin, no, it's my dustbin, well, I'm going to stick a knife in your sternum. One poke and you're gone. Over some freaking worthless aluminium. Okay, it's not worthless in this context, but the context of a life. It's just... And you know what? This is one of the things that Globies and others can't get their ball-headed heads around, and that is that there is infinite resources here. Don't waste. There's no need to be a wastrel, but at the same time there's infinite resources here, and they made us squabble over empty cans of pop. I mean, the poison that's in the pop is just another thing, but does the empty can, and a guy loses his life, Muhammad. Now, apparently I know Muhammad, but I can't actually I need to go through my older videos and find out who he was exactly, because I've met so many guys. But I know him, I've been told I know him, and I'm just gutted because it is another tragic kind of thing of this system. And any agenda, by the way, let me get on my soapbox, any agenda that makes humans, you, or some other dude over the road, be the bad guy, be the oh, look at what they're doing to the carbon emissions, bullshit. That's all bullshit. Okay, that's all about making God's creation weak on the microcosm and on the macrocosm scale. Anything. This earth can heal itself. Your body can heal itself. It'll take care of itself. Don't hurt your body by drinking every night, right? Do it once every now and again. Alcohol, I mean. Do it once every now and again. Same with the earth. You can't spill oil every day and expect it to keep it clean. But, you have an oil spill, it will clean up for you. Earth is beautiful like that. So is your body. Very forgiving. So, looks like my little crew is... Hey, baby. Oh, we got one of these logs. We've been looking at these. So homesick about these. Daddy had some of these. We had some of these before. Good hard way when Daddy was chopping wood and cleaning things like this. It's beautiful, huh? So smooth. And look at the big crack. Yeah. So there you go. A little bit of family time. Oh, he's coming in from behind.
I just wanted to say thank you for the words of support and the help yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, we really
Yes, thank you very much.
it means a lot.
I am actually. I've got this little talking about the car thing. Because that's the point. Is that, you know what, we are making vast, chunks of progress here, and I really feel, despite all the kind of setbacks, travails, and whatever, I feel like I'm meant to be here doing something. Because actually the eyes open wider than they do anywhere else for me when I'm talking. The need to kind of, what else can you give me? What more information, rather than, like this guy who owns this place here. He was at the same school as me, actually. We just had a conversation by the poolside before I started the camera, and he was 2 years my junior. And so I start saying, hey, listen, quickly, this is my story a little bit, and you can feel the energy wanting to walk away. They're wanting to walk away. This is how the Europeans often react, Whereas the black folk, they want to step in closer, shake your hand, and go, hey, and the funny thing is that black people, and I'm going to generalize a little bit here, but black people will regard a white guy a little bit like, umlungu, like you are, what I mean, you are part of the past, you're an anachronism here, you racist, blah blah blah. I'm coloring it, of course, but you get that sense from the first thing is, because whites have been a little bit kind of profligate. They've been, the ones with the money. They've been the ones who've treated black African people, in general, as lesser people, right? So your initial interaction with people is sometimes like they're not giving you their eyes, but I promise you, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 90 seconds, they are hooked, and I'm reeling them right back in there, and they're like, man, this is the guy I have to listen to. Like I said, did I say this? I hope I'm not being boastful, but an African man who was, a businessman or whatever, I got to speak to at the beach the other day. After 10 minutes, he said, hey, you're the new Nelson Mandela. If I've said that before, I do apologize. It's only a one-time comment, and it's a throwaway comment, but it's interesting that he, who didn't know me before, who could make that kind of association in his mind to the things that I was giving him. So there's definitely work to be done here, my friends. I have more confidence that this mission must continue. The setback without a vehicle now, obviously, is it holds me back, because, well, it's not so easy just to grab a taxi, and of course it costs more money every time I do that. It doesn't offer us the freedoms that we had. So I guess what I'm saying is that I truly believe that even though we haven't yet got a home, we haven't yet got things in place, I truly believe that this work that I'm doing is time sensitive, and it is now that I should be doing this work. I want to continue being here. I want to find a way to continue being here, and I want to also find a way to continue being mobile. Okay, so people are asking, so, well, why don't you just rent a car? Let me just explain something that I haven't said on camera before. So my first driver's license in this country was actually a military driver's license for armored cars and stuff. And then when I was 18 or just turned 19, I got my civilian driver's license. And I still have that civilian driver's license. When I went to England, I was able to swap that civilian driver's license into a British civilian license. And then I found out about Flat Earth, and I found about all these other deceptions, and I realized I didn't want to be playing in the license game anymore, the registration to the king and all this crap. So I didn't apply for a replacement license. It's a 10-year license in the UK. I didn't apply for a replacement license while we were still in Good Hard Way, and then I was out of a home, and my license lapsed, and then I discovered that, and I have tried to apply for it again, but I don't think the authorities in the UK want to issue it to me, because we did send them 60 quid, and they won't send me a license. Now in South Africa, what the new administrators did was they said, well, you may have a license from the past, but we're going to make that license, you need to apply for a new type of license, a plastic one or whatever, you're obviously able to drive, but if you haven't done this piece of paperwork, it's not valid anymore. Well, I have the old license, and of course I've been out of the country for 27 years, and I have not gone and applied for the new paper. And in fact, because it's so long since the process happened, this new administrators took over, went 20 years ago or whatever, I'm no longer, my old license is no longer eligible to be simply swapped for a new license. You have to go and retest, redo the license and all that crap. And actually one day I went down there to the licensing bureau just to check it out, and well, the queue was so long out the door that they had 2 tents after the queue. They had 2 tents of people sitting, waiting to join the queue. That was for one day. So I have a valid license. I am absolutely good at driving, and I would have liked to have seen a lot of other drivers who have the current license handle the breakdown of their car, in that I think we were on about 5 or 6 lanes of highway where my car broke down, so it wasn't like some quiet country lane I could just pull over. Anyway, not wanting to, but just the point is that I can't walk into a car hire place today and say, here's my old license, let me use your car. I have a license. God knows that I went and did my test, and I passed, and I have the paperwork to show it, but I don't have the up-to-date paperwork from the new administrators in charge. So I can't just hire a car. So the situation where my friend Andre was good enough to say, hey, just grab my car for a while, you can obviously drive, was perfect. So finding a replacement situation is not as straightforward as just, let's say, going and, oh well, why don't you lease one for a little while or something like that. I do need to have it passed to me in a sort of friends looking out for friends kind of way. And so there's this long story, and I'm sorry to go on, but there is this option which Francois had floated to me some time ago, was that he had this older BMW that needs an engine, and he has possibly got an old engine lying somewhere in a different part of the country. So I'm rapidly trying to see if I can't finance and pull together the resources for such a vehicle, because it's a solid car, just doesn't have an engine. Probably about 10 years old, so it's it's a good, for a BM, that's a good age. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's a bit bigger, because I really am starting to kind of become invested in the idea of doing a more widespread tour. My confidence is growing here. My certainty when I'm dealing with folks here is on the rise. So for me, I'm keen not to lose that momentum. I'm keen to continue pushing home. And so this is where it comes to you, my friends. I am going to appeal to you. There's one or two people whose names I will not mention, who might be able to, to make a chunky, shall we say, contribution to... I should have said this right at the beginning in this long video, because some people, I think, don't even watch the first 10 minutes. So anyway, spread the word, man. I honestly think that we can do something huge here in Africa. South Africa's starting anyway. And like I said the other day, if I can start in Durban, get a good head of steam, make some friends, and the friends I'm talking about are in the sort of more traditional community, then I can spread it more widely, because they'll have friends in other towns, and they can get invitations to a town hall meeting here and a group meeting there and so on. And so the word will spread. We will improve on our flyer. The website that Greg's helped me build is called lovetruthsovereignty.com. Do you like that? Lovetruthsovereignty.com. That's the website. Not yet live, I don't think, but you might want to bookmark the name, because we're going to use it as a conduit to other information for people, empowering information for sovereigns. So yeah, I do want to be part of that, and I am thinking if I get this BM sorted, right, I'm gonna see if Greg can do me some some stickers, so I can actually have the vehicle properly stick it up, and as a moving billboard to appropriately warn people. Francois wants me to have "The Earth is flat, you monkeys, you fools," all over it. Okay, I said a bit at the end, but he wants a flat Earth on it. I would have some flat Earth stickerage, but I don't think that I want to. You know how it is with flat Earth. It's like the shutters come down on the words "flat" and "Earth" or shoved together in the same sentence. It just causes mental collapse and a return to some sort of defensive position. So, I like to have that there and stuff, but I think it's more about us taking our sovereignty back, because flat Earth was a tool to rob you of your sovereignty. That's really what the whole nonsense of taking people onto a spinning ball, Darwin, Newton, all this crap. The Catholic Church, Big Bang. It's all sexual, isn't it? So I want to do that, guys. I think that's why I'm here. I think that it's I don't know how long it lasts and where it takes us, but St. Andrew this morning, if people knew that, if I kept a day-to-day diary of the emotional journey I've been on, it would be quite interesting to read, even if you were one of those tools who likes to drop negative comments. It'd be very interesting to read, because I have been through the fire, and I'm glad for it, actually, because it has made me more sure, more certain, more fearless. Anyway, my facial hair is still falling. I know that now I'm in the sun, I can see my patchy moustache and stuff. The hair loss that I started suffering last year is still continuing, by the way, and it's working its way up the sides of my head right now. It's kind of funny, but hopefully I'll get some MMS soon enough, and in the fullness of time, there'll be time for taking care of those things. Anyway, I hope that's been useful, guys. Come on, man, just send us some donations. I'm gonna actually have a word with Karen B, if I can, before her Oktoberfest in October. See if she can't. Actually, I suppose I should speak to Dr. La and Tommy. Maybe they did. Did you know this already? You probably know this. They did this food stall at Karen B's last event and raised $1,250, which is a lot of money in dollars, not so much in pounds. It's a joke, but it was the most generous group thing that I've kind of encountered. So I might see if they can't help us out with a throw something in the tin, because if I can get this car up and running, a little bit of fuel in the tank, I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing, and I promise you I'm making the sort of progress that makes me feel like, wow, it's been worth all of the hell that I've put my children who do miss us over in England and Zizi and my wife through, really feels right. It really feels right, in a way that I've not had before. You know, we had a great day in Lisbon that time on the Globe Light tour. That was a great day. There was a lot of English being spoken. People were receptive, and so on. So that was a standout day. There were a few other moments on tour, but I don't need to be on tour with. I mean, I don't have to have all the banners and all that. I'd like a banner, but I don't need all of that paraphernalia. All I need is my voice and my eyes, and I get these people pretty much every time. And if I have information to send them away that they can pass to their family and friends, even better. And this formula can be franchised. You know, once I'm doing it, I can go anywhere and perhaps even bring other folks into the fray. So let me know what you think. I mean, I know there are only about 6 people that go all the way to the end of this video, so well done if that's one of you. Let me know how you can help. If you're in South Africa and let me know how you can help. And I hope you have a great day and enjoy today, guys, because these are the most incredible times we're living through, and they're not times for loafing. They're times for action, and this is partly your call to action. And you know what? I give you we took Freddie for an ice cream yesterday. Well, Andrea offered to give Freddie an ice cream because he was wanting shelter money from us, and I needed to break some change up to give him the 60 rand he needed. So Andrew said, why don't you just come along for an ice cream with us? And we get there, because we were only going there to take Zizi for an ice cream, right? And we get there, and Andrew's like, oh, I'm going to have a coffee. And okay, well, I'll share that with you. And Freddie's like, well, why didn't you get one for yourself? Because I try not to spend money on myself, guys. I try not to spend money on myself. I know there's some people go, oh look, you're on a holiday or whatever. But let me tell you, we do everything we can to mitigate or minimize expenditure, wastage, and all that sort of thing. So I'm not like just swatting it up and waiting for hard people who've got 9-to-5 crappy jobs and very little spare income to throw me something so I can continue living it up. Trust me, none of this shit around me means anything to me. The swimming pool, all of this, whatever. I don't need fancy. That's not what I need in my life. There's work to be done, and that's all I'm interested in is getting the work done. So every day, as soon as Zizi's asleep, I'm asleep, and I'm up at 4 or 5 in the morning in the day, and I'm here to be present. I'm here to make something change. And I promise you, did you see me talking to that policeman the other day? He was a senior policeman, right? One of his colleagues, I won't say it was him, one of his colleagues says, yeah, you're on the right course here. You're on the, you know what you're talking about, and you're right. But the word is not allowed out, right? And that's why this social media platform is being restricted, as is most others, if they say anything outside of the accepted narrative. So what I'm doing on the ground is the most powerful thing that I can imagine doing. And I've had a few years experience of doing this now. It's better than Speaker's Corner, better than the Globe Light Tour. For me, this was the reason why I was practicing in Speaker's Corner. I was making contacts on the Globe Light Tour. But you want to see something change, watch the space and see if you can help us out with a little bit of support to get another car.